3. The Rob Carson Show will begin momentarily. See, it says that right top of the screen. Yeah. See, yeah, it's a little slow, but do not leave you or your computer. Yeah, that's what it is. Or there's more. Hold on. Or smart. Do not or smart. Oh, there. Okay. Device. Okay. Then let's do this, shall we?
It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Here is Rob Carson. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here with me today. Today is the day that George H.W. Bush was laid to rest in College Station, Texas. And it has been a very emotional week for the Bushes. And, a presidential funeral is a historic thing. And I've seen several of them. Obviously, if you've been on the planet long enough, you've seen several of them. And I'm not going to dwell too much on it. But God bless him. He had a great life. He did a lot. He made his mark in history. And I don't know if that's the most important thing you can do. I think the most important thing you can do is to leave the planet loved. And I think he did a really good job of that. I think he did a lot of that. He got a lot of people loving him. Had a lot of people hating him. Don't get me wrong, because I saw a lot of trolls on social media. And even conservative sites where I said, God bless him, some conservatives were getting on my butt about it. And I'm like, you know what? Just back off. The man's gone. All right, just back off. So anyway, welcome to the show. Before we go any further, tpublic.com is a great place to shop for Christmas. teepublic.com/user/conservatees. Can you see conservatees over there? For some odd reason, we've got some white showing up over there. Let's move that. Yeah, let's move that. There you go. Now you can see conservatees. That's better. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with a TV studio in your house. But conservatees, there it is. tpublic.com/conservatees. Now you really can't see TeePublic. But anyway, yeah, just order stuff there. All of those designs are available. On a host of different items, including mouse pads, including laptop covers, including phone covers, all of this. It's pretty amazing. It is really, really amazing. You get all those things there, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would order something. Okay, if you would order something. Let me move that over a little bit so you can see it. There you go. tpublic.com/conservatees. All right, so order something. I say Merry Christmas, deal with it. That's one of the most popular designs this Christmas season. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the day. There's a lot of things, including a little bit of politics, but a lot of just really wild stuff, madness on campus. Also, just some war on Christmas stuff that really backfired. There's a Disney song that is no longer allowed on a campus with a a cappella Bale group of singers. Tucker Carlson goes after Kathy Aru about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a bullying victim. I mean, it's just, there's just all sorts of stuff going on. So let's get to it. No state funeral would be the same without Democrats politicizing it. And in this case, Donald Trump's still alive. George H.W. Bush is the one who died, yet they've wanted to focus on Donald Trump. And, of course, use the occasion to bash Donald Trump. Here's a little montage of the media going after Donald Trump using the platform of George H.W. Bush's funeral to do so.
But what becomes undeniably obvious with every bio run about Bush 41 is that stark contrast between these two men. Over the last 2 years, deviancy has continued being defined down by this current president, his cronies, his supporters.
Look, Donald Trump is one
deviancy. She's dividing deviancy. This is the woman who was banging Joe Scarborough and left her marriage, and he did as well. Okay, what's deviancy?
Maybe who George H.W. Bush is.
The world looked to George Bush because he was
don't see that old fogey in a while.
Leader respected. He had proven himself. This president has yet to do that.
This president that we have now is trying to unravel everything that he did and Obama did.
I think he's doing this because he feels he has to do it. I can't help but wonder if there was a thought bubble over Donald Trump's head just now, what he was thinking.
I have to imagine he was thinking, how much longer do I have to stand here?
We may not approve of this current president, but that doesn't diminish one's respect for the office.
Because there are a lot of things about George H.W. Bush that maybe people now appreciate that they didn't appreciate at the time.
And it just gives you a sense of the big character of the man and the contrast with the small character we see.
Why don't you compare him to Bill Clinton? How about that? His character compared to Bill Clinton. Why not that? Why would you use this occasion, the occasion of a man's death, to go after a political opponent? Well, because you're liberal media. That's the deal. All right. I mean, it's an easy answer. I know you hear it echoed on talk radio, but it's true. It's true. This is ridiculous. It should be solely focusing on the death of the man and his time in office and his life, not on comparing him to the present president. That has never been done before. It didn't happen during Ronald Reagan's funeral. It didn't happen during Gerald R. Ford's funeral, Richard Nixon's funeral.
George Bush believed in the institutions of government, which I think, too, is another reason why this moment to remember and to compare and contrast is so important, because our institutions are so under siege right now.
Yeah, because they're failing. They're bloated, they're corrupt, they're the swamp.
The government itself.
And that is why we celebrate George H.W. Bush's legacy and fear the next 2 years of Mr. Trump's wild White House ride.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of wild rides. Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you. Did you see the Hillary snub? Now, I posted on social media that the loser is still a little sore. Hillary Clinton being sore is just not a pretty image, yoga, other things. But I said the loser is still a little sore, and here she is at National Cathedral, which, by the way, is a glorious place. I worked a few miles from there, and I used to go up there for solace. It's beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go to Washington, D.C., go. I've mentioned that before on the podcast. But Hillary Clinton is still sore. She's still mad about it. She's still upset that she's not going to be the first woman president of the country. Do you know why? Because America has no problem with a woman president, just not this woman. Just not this woman. Here is the snub supreme in National Cathedral. And you'd think that, well, I'll just let the video speak for itself. There's a cordial handshake with the Obamas. Bill Clinton's kind of looking over. Bill Clinton, he knows that Donald Trump's there. See that? Look at that. Hillary Clinton is looking forward. She is not going to move her head. And Jimmy Carter's even looking over, which probably takes a great deal of energy right now at this stage in his life.
President Trump shaking the hand.
Hillary Clinton is not even. I mean, this is. If it weren't so catty, it would be comical.
The Obamas, the Clintons did not acknowledge President Trump.
Wow. Let's watch it again. This is so good. Okay, so the president leaves his coat, and he sits down. Hey, Barack, how you doing there, buddy? Yeah, sorry about fixing everything that you did that was broken. There's a Bill. Hey, I guess never mind. She's squeezing my leg right now. She's saying, "Do not touch me." She shot daggers into my eyes earlier. Oh, I'll tell you what.
President Trump.
Bill's going. Turn back around.
In the hands of the Obamas, the Clintons did not.
Yeah, there's a Carter's just there, all autonomous. Jimmy's looking at his watch. There you go. A little schmutz there. Yeah. Rosalind. Okay.
Did not even look over.
Honestly, wow. This, where are the adults in the room here? Where are the adults in the room? My Lord in heaven. I mean, you're at the most beautiful cathedral, essentially, in the country, at a very auspicious event, the death of a president, the death of a man who was, he's an iconic figure. And you can't look at a previous president, even though he's a previous president, or the current president. He's the current president. Unbelievable. Okay, let's move on to some other madness. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. She's 29 years old. She was waiting tables a year ago. She won an election. She essentially is kind of like Barack Obama, Manchurian candidate, essentially. And she's being invited even though she knows nothing about anything. All right, she knows nothing about anything, and she's being invited to forums where she's being asked questions. Bernie Sanders is, apparently there's a global warming conference or something, and even though it's not global warming because it's not warming anymore, it's climate change because climate changes, and everything is covered when you just say climate change. I've already said that before. But for some odd reason, she apparently has something to say about this, even though she knows absolutely nothing about anything. Here she is.
She is a bold progressive fighting for a Green New Deal.
Okay, this is fantastic. This is the Democrat playbook, and I've said this many, many times. The Democrat, all they have is the New Deal. That's all they have. The New Deal is all they have. And that is government spending, infrastructure, government jobs, raising the minimum wage. That's it. Now we've got a Green New Deal, which, by the way, was supposed to happen during the Obama administration, right? Wasn't it? That was supposed to happen under the Obama administration. A rebirth, a New Deal with regard to government spending on, and there were plenty of subsidies given, and all of them essentially failed. All of them essentially failed. Right now, we're seeing a car company being propped up that is not making any money because the people don't want to buy the cars because they are $120,000 a piece. Okay? You've seen solar companies collapse even though they had government money behind them. So this New Deal with regard to green energy isn't working. And by the way, Bernie Sanders spent $300,000 in a month on air travel on private jets in October. Back to Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. I don't know why they're asking her anything about anything because she knows nothing.
And for other legislation, not only in terms of the environment, but in all areas.
She's not a lawmaker yet. She never has been. She has no track record. She has done nothing.
They're going to protect ordinary people against the greed of big money. So, Alexandria, we're delighted.
I don't know, man.
Joining us this evening.
People with big money fly in private jets.
Let me start off with...
You've got 3 houses.
A pretty simple question. We have heard over and over
Here
again
we go.
from the Trump administration and from fossil fuel economists that if we transform our energy system away from fossil fuel, and
I don't think there are any jets right now that run on solar power. I could be wrong.
Become more energy
or tanks
efficient, and we move to wind and solar and
or aircraft carriers,
sustainable energy,
ambulances.
What they are telling us is
helicopters.
Going to be a disaster for the economy. Is President Trump right? That's a hard one. I want you to think about it before you respond.
I was waiting tables 2 months ago. I have no experience at all. I've never held elective office. I haven't even been sworn in, but suddenly I'm an expert on everything.
Or is there, in fact, ideas out there that
at least Donald Trump had life experience
would enable us to create millions of good-paying jobs as we move away from fossil fuels?
Why isn't it happening yet? You had a champion of this crap in the White House for 8 years.
It's unsurprising that the response to any bold proposal that we have is to incite fear.
They are your proposals are very bold and very wrong.
To incite fear of loss, to incite fear of others, to incite fear of our
the fear of others. How does this come into the equation?
Future. But the only way we are going to get out of this situation is by choosing to be courageous. That's the only way we're going to get out of this.
Wow.
And first of all,
she speaks in bumper stickers.
It's plain wrong. The idea that we're going to somehow lose economic activity, as a matter of fact, it's not just possible that we will create jobs and economic activity by transitioning to renewable energy, but it's inevitable that we are going to create jobs. It's inevitable that we're going to create industry. And it's
what if people don't want to buy the stuff? Then what happens to those jobs?
Inevitable that we can use the transition to 100% renewable energy as the vehicle to truly deliver and establish economic, social, and racial justice in the United States of America.
What the hell does that have to do with anything? Here's what it's all about. It's about an industry succeeding. It's about if you want to innovate and all that and people want to buy it, hell yes. What the hell? Who at General Motors? Who at some of the greatest companies in the history of mankind said this is our goal? Okay, people at Samsung, people at Apple. Was this their goal?
Inevitable that we are going to create jobs. It's inevitable that we're going to create industry.
No, it's not inevitable if you have a failed business plan. These are the words of a Marxist. It is not inevitable if you don't have a plan and you're not supported by the government. It is not inevitable if you know nothing about business, you idiot. Go back and wait tables.
And it's inevitable that we can use the transition to 100% renewable energy as the vehicle to truly deliver and establish economic, social, and racial justice in the United States of America.
What the hell does that have to do with it? How is moving to, putting solar panels on your house going to deliver economic, social, and racial justice to America? What the hell decade are you living in? This is the stunting, the intellectual stunting occurring in universities everywhere. And I heard that she has a degree in economics. It is not inevitable to make a profit. It is not inevitable that businesses will succeed. Anybody knows who is in the private sector. That is a universal truth. It is not inevitable you're going to make it. Very likely you're going to fail. If you own a restaurant, there's a real good chance you're going to fail. It's a real high percentage. Just dumb as a box of rocks. Bernie Sanders' 2018 campaign committee issued a October 10 payment of $297,000 by New York-based Apollo Jets, a charter company used by retired sports stars Derek Jeter and Shaquille O'Neal. Apparently, the expense was for transportation for the Senators' 9-day, 9-state tour to support Democrat candidates up and down the ballot. This is, of course, a lot of carbon footprint. This cost covered the entirety of the tour from Indiana, Michigan, all these 25 events. Excuse me. Had to sneeze. Sanders' campaign purchased $5,000 in carbon offsets to balance out the emissions produced from the travel. I want to see where the carbon offsets are. Where are they? Where are those carbon offsets? How is the carbon? If you're gonna do $5,000, you should do $297,000 in carbon offsets, shouldn't you? Yeah. Sanders has been very vocal about the need to curb the effects of climate change, which, of course, will promote, racial justice. What the hell did she say? It's just so stupid. Oh, my God. He said, climate change is a planetary crisis. Our task is clear. We must take on the fossil fuel industry that's largely responsible for global emissions and accelerate our transition towards energy efficiency and sustainable energy sources. Where's your solar jet, sir? Where is your solar jet there, Mr. Fancy Pants? This is just like what happened in the Soviet Union. And it's happened time and time again. They are let them eat cake liberals. They preach one thing and then they live another lifestyle, and they expect all of us to ride in unsafe little cars and while they ride in motorcades and to fly in coach while they fly in private jets. What percentage of the American population do you suppose has ever flown in a private jet? 0.0%, 0.01%, 0.02%, something like that, possibly. Probably. Bernie Sanders is a public servant. What's he doing? Flying in a private jet. I don't know. So the Princeton Tiger Tones, they are an all-male a cappella group at Princeton, no longer going to sing a song because some audience members and one sophomore who wrote an article about it for the student newspaper found it to be uncomfortable. The Princeton Tiger Tones, they're dandy, aren't they? Will no longer perform the popular rendition of Kiss the Girl from The Little Mermaid after complaints. This, I swear to God in heaven. The assault on free speech. Oh, and by the way, a bunch of radio stations are now not playing Baby It's Cold Outside because it's a predatory song. A bunch of radio stations to start, I think, at a station in Ohio because a couple of complaint calls. It spread to a couple of other stations. They're taking it, Baby It's Cold Outside. It's about a guy. Come on, man. This is the game. This is the game. And it may be seduction and it may be whatever. This is the game we play. It's not about a guy trying to get drunk and pull a Bill Cosby on her. He's just saying, hey, baby, it's cold outside. You ought to stay here. Just whatever. No guy goes, hey, put Baby It's Cold outside. I'm going to rape her. You know? Dear God. And I hate to be graphic here, but come on. You idiots. Yes, there were songs, I'm sure, that probably, do not allow, should not be on playlists for a variety of reasons. This is not one of them. Apparently, during their performance, the group invites a woman on stage to join them as they sing playfully and dance with her for a bit. As the song reaches a close, the group invites a male audience member, pretended to groom him, and then put the two together, asking that they kiss. As the song suggests, the random couple complies, sometimes on a peck on the cheek, sometimes briefly on the lips. It's cute. It's just cute. Sophomore Noah Waldstein, who has less experience in life than Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, wrote an opinion article for the Daily Princetonian, asking the Tiger Tones to stop singing the song because it was more misogynistic and dismissive of consent than cute. So there you go. Here's the Tiger Tones. Here's what they did that was profoundly offensive, that was essentially allowing women to be sexually assaulted by men. Oh, yeah, it's from a Disney movie called The Little Mermaid.
Don't be scared.
Oh, look at that. He's assaulting her. She didn't consent to dance.
Yes.
Wow. Look at that poor woman. These are just good young men singing. Okay? They're just good young men. But their masculinity is toxic. Their masculinity is toxic. Okay, let's skip ahead here. Okay, here they are. He brings the guy up here. And now they're dancing together. And obviously he wants to assault her physically. And they're just playing along. It's no big deal. Here we go. Is he going to kiss the girl? Oh my God! Maybe he's not consenting. Do you ever think about that? No, there you go. Oh, there you go. I don't think they kissed each other there. That's got to go. That has got to go. This is so funny. This kid, Noah Waldstein, conflates clear consent with verbal consent, something that has been happening on college campuses since California introduced its absurd affirmative consent law. Really stupid. She says the message comes across as even more jarring. It's possible she wants you to. That's one way to ask her. It don't take a word, not a single word. Go on and kiss the girl. Kiss the girl. She says that is problematic. They are unambiguously encourage men to make physical advances on women without obtaining their clear consent. Wow. I've got a story coming up about a school in Nebraska and a freshman principal who just got shot down. This freshman principal tried to make it cute and everything about banning all of these things at an elementary school that had anything to do with Christmas. We're going to get to that in just 1 second, so stick around. Tucker Carlson was talking to liberal Sherpa Kathy Aru. I don't even know who this person is, but Kathy Aru, I've seen periodically on the show. Let's see if I have this here. Kathy Aru, Carlson. Yes, here we go. Apparently, Kathy Aru, and he's talking about a variety of different things, including Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and she's showing her just the idiocy and political correctness of the left. Here is that exchange with regard to all things Christmas.
Baby, it's cold outside. Is that something we need to give up because of Me Too?
Not because of Me Too. I looked at it, and it seems like a few years back, people were commenting that the lyrics, if you read those lyrics, it's not a holiday song.
Right.
It doesn't say holidays, happy holidays, Christmas, anything. It's just cold outside, and an older man is telling a younger woman.
No, wait. I don't know how old these people are. Does he say, I'm 35 years old and you're only 16? Is that in the lyrics?
Not to go home to her parents, to stay around, have another drink.
Yeah.
And she says, what's in this drink?
Yes.
Said, don't worry about it. She said, I feel kind of funny.
Yeah.
What's in this drink? So she's claiming these lyrics that have been around for 45 years. He slipped maybe Rohypnol, the date rape drug, into her drink. Where the hell did that come from? And where the hell did the guy's older come from?
Stick around. So if you read it,
she's getting roofied.
Yeah,
roofied. Yeah,
he slipped something in the drink, and she stays the night.
Do we get to a point where human warmth and romance are illegal?
Yeah,
it's not romance. This is a guy slipping or something, and she's spending the night, and she doesn't know what happened.
And yet, for 50 years, she never complained about it. I guess she never knew how pressure was.
She did. She said, "I'm trying to say no, no, no." The song explains it. She's saying no in the song. No means no. Tucker.
Do we know if she stayed or not? Was there a sequel? The next morning she's going, "Baby, it's cold outside," as I walk home. Was there a sequel? I think I missed it.
When Mommy Kisses Santa Claus,
yes,
has consent been given?
When Mommy kisses Santa, it sounds like Mommy was okay with that. She didn't.
This fat guy comes down your chimney, shows up in your living room, and kisses Mommy, and that's voluntary. You're saying?
No, Mommy kissed Santa Claus. I think it was involuntary for Santa Claus, and I think he should charge her with not consenting.
I mean.
Yeah, no,
not asking.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
He's pointing out the absurdity by being absurd.
Would Frosty the Snow Person be a more inclusive title, do you think?
I think so, yeah. Man,
does the phrase White Christmas strike you as racist?
Snow is white, so it's appropriate.
Oh, really?
Yellow snow.
It doesn't seem problematic in the slightest?
I don't think so.
When white people sing Feliz Navidad, is that cultural appropriation?
Nice.
It depends, right? If they sing it with a sombrero and they're mocking the culture, then perhaps, they've crossed the line.
Oh, dear Lord.
But if they sing it just humming along
and
to the soundtrack at Walmart, that's okay. In what sense would they appreciate it?
Well, if they truly appreciate it.
If you're going to be uniform, be uniform on all these things. You're picking and choosing which you find offensive. And like with the global warming argument, you can shift directions to support your premise. So what is not offensive right now, you can sing Feliz Navidad. There will be a point where white people cannot sing Feliz Navidad. That's just it. As far as White Christmas is concerned, there was a town, I believe it was in Vermont, and they said, here's wishing for a white, whatever, Andover. I don't know what the town was. They raised all sorts of hell, even though white means snow. And here's this Aru, what the hell her name is, Kathy Aru. And she's just picking and choosing what she's going to be offended by, and eventually it's going to change. And next year, if you ask her the same questions, her answers will be different.
The language and the culture, and understand Feliz Navidad is Merry Christmas. Yeah.
So if they only know 2 words of Spanish, Feliz and Navidad, that's enough not to be a cultural appropriator.
Right. Yeah, appropriation is...
No, now let's just go ahead and take this to its end. At what point is speaking another language going to be cultural appropriation? Okay. At what point, honestly, if I learn to speak Chinese, is that cultural appropriation? If I learn to speak Arabic, is that cultural appropriation? Come on, let's go. Let's go here, guys. Is it appropriate that a white man would be speaking a language that is not his? This is where it's going, kids.
It's a fine line.
Rudolph, I got to ask you the last question.
Here we go.
And this is dead serious.
Okay.
Do you think that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a victim of bullying?
Well, yeah, that's the whole tale. He is a victim of bullying.
Okay.
Right.
So is it, would you say, so corrosive, because Rudolph accepts his bullying, he doesn't fight back,
right,
that you would keep it from your kids?
You would have to talk it over and explain it with the kids. The kids nowadays understand.
You don't need to explain it to the kids.
When that was first created.
But when it comes on, do you sit your kids down and say, look, Rudolph's about to be bullied. Seems complicit in his own...
A responsible parent.
Stockholm Syndrome going on now.
A responsible parent would explain to their children that Rudolph is being bullied. You're not responsible if you just let it be a cartoon. Just a badly animated mid-'60s cartoon. Unbelievable. I've got a story coming up here. A guy goes to a Christmas festival and ruins it for kids. I'll explain what that's all about in just a second. But, who the hell knows what this person is? Could be a radical leftist. Could be just a Christian who says, it's not real. He's not real, So we'll get to that in just a second. I've got to share this story. This is Mazie Hirono. She's a congresswoman from the state of Hawaii. And she's talking about how the reason why Democrats can't relate to their voters is because they're too smart. This is big.
About it. What do you think Democrats need to say to help voters bump this from issue number 14 up to issue number 1?
One?
I wish I had the answer to that, because one of the things that we Democrats have a really hard time is connecting to people's hearts instead of here. We're really good at shoving out all the information.
She's a senator, by the way. I apologize. As a congressman.
And I have been saying at all of our Senate Democratic retreats that we need to speak to the heart, not in a manipulative way, not in a way that...
Not in a manipulative way. Everything the Democrats do is manipulative. Republicans want to starve your children. Republicans want old people to die. Republicans hate brown people. Really?
Brings forth everybody's fears and resentments, but truly to speak to the heart so that people know that we're actually on their side. We have a really hard time doing that. And one of the reasons that it was told to me at one of our retreats was that we Democrats know so much. That is true. And we have to kind of tell everybody how smart we are. And so we have a tendency to be very left brain. And we think...
very left brain for sure. I'll give you that. Okay. So she's saying that Democrats are so smart they can't relate to people. Why do they keep doing the same stupid crap over and over again? Why do they not realize that cutting taxes and regulation causes the economy to grow? Well, why don't they know that a strong defense and a strong posture in the world makes the world a safer place by the United States? Okay, why don't they know these things? Why don't they know? Why can't they learn that every baby deserves to be born? Okay. I wouldn't say any of those things are terribly smart. Let's listen to this again.
Doing that, and one of the reasons that it was told to me at one of our retreats was that we Democrats.
Why do they keep reinvesting in the New Deal?
Know so much. That is true, and we have to kind of tell everybody how smart we are, and so we have a tendency to be very left brain, and we think really that is not how people make decisions.
We are so smart that they're talking down to Democrat voters. They're saying that their followers are so stupid, and people in general are so stupid they don't understand the brilliance of the Democrat Party. Wow. I'm thinking that Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is going to turn the corner on the intelligence thing. Okay, so in Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown originally, Manchester Elementary School in Omaha, freshman principal, first-year principal, sent out a memo, Jennifer Sinclair, saying that there are many things that are verboten at Manchester Elementary School this year, this holiday season. Santas or Christmas items on worksheets, clip art, Christmas trees in classrooms, elf on a shelf, singing Christmas carols, playing Christmas music, sending a scholastic book that is a Christmas book that's Christmas related, making a Christmas ornament as a gift. This assumes that the family has a Christmas tree, which assumes they celebrate Christmas. I challenge the thought of, well, they can just hang it somewhere else. Candy cane. You can't have candy canes because that's a Christmas related. Historically, the shape is for J, the red is for the blood of Christ, and the white is a symbol of his resurrections. This would also include different colored candy canes. Different colored candy canes, like the Skittles ones. They have ones that are flavored like Starburst and I guess Starburst. Star, like the star, the guiding star of Jesus. My hand just disappeared. Okay. What? This she's unbelievable. I didn't know that about the candy cane. I just thought they were candy, and then they have a hook on them so you can hang them on the tree. I don't know. You learn new things all the time. Red and green items, traditionally Christmas colors. Reindeer. Christmas videos, movies that are characters from Christmas movies. Okay? The principal noted in a memo that she comes from a place that Christmas and the like are not allowed in schools. Well, no kidding. And that is a public school, Manchester Elementary, will seek to be inclusive and culturally sensitive to all of our students, except if you're Christian. I have knowingly she's awoken, a sleeping giant with many of you, she added. I apologize for the stress that Christmas, holiday, Grinch, Santa tree, emails, and conversations that have caused you. No, you don't. Here are some acceptable things, according to her. Gifts to students. Students making a gift for a loved one. Snowmen, snow women, snow people, snowflakes, gingerbread people. Holidays around the world, a purposeful presentation of information to teach about different cultures. But don't include Christmas. Sledding, hot chocolate, polar bears, penguins. Polar bears love penguins. They love to eat them. Just, boy, they love them some penguin. Scarves, boots, earmuffs, and hats. Well, you kind of need those when it's cold. Yetis and Olaf from Frozen. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Sinclair concluded, I'm hopeful we can avoid the discomfort of me directly questioning something you've copied, posted, and had your kids do. That makes me uncomfortable, and I know it doesn't feel good. And signed it, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas from Manchester. Liberty Counsel demanded that the superintendent of Elkhorn Public Schools discuss the Christmas ban, urged it to immediately overrule and specifically disavow the sweeping directive banning Christmas and holiday items, and require Principal Sinclair to undertake a review of the district policy. Maybe some sensitivity training. Well, the district investigated this matter and determined that Principal Sinclair's memorandum did not comply with the board policy, and the Manchester staffers were advised that certain Christmas symbols are permissible. Well, thank God for that. Thank God for that. The First Amendment does not require elimination of Christmas. Nothing prohibits public schools from teaching objectively about Christmas or other holidays with religious significance from displaying religious or secular Christmas symbols side by side or singing sacred and secular Christmas songs together. There you go. You idiot. You idiot. Okay. We get to this guy who crashed a Christmas festival and told everybody that that Santa doesn't exist. I'm going to get to that in just 1 second. I'm also got a piece of satire that I want to. Here it is. I'm going to play a piece of satire here very shortly that I just did with my kids and my wife. I did it for a comedy network about political correctness in school and about college. And we just talked a little while ago about Veggie Tales being racist. Oh, we haven't done that yet. No, Veggie Tales is coming up. But, there's a war on Christmas. There's a war on everything at college. There's a war on thought. There's a war on masculinity. The Kiss the Girl can no longer be sung at Princeton. And so I decided to do a Hallmark movie. These are featuring my wife and kids, by the way. Hallmark presentation, My Kids' First Christmas Back from College.
This holiday season, the Hallmark Channel has a special presentation, Our Kids' First Christmas Back from College.
And thank you for all of our blessings. Amen.
Amen. Excuse me. Why isn't it a women?
Honey, this has nothing to do with sex.
What a typically male, cisgendered thing to say.
Wait, I'm a what?
I'll bet Native Americans aren't thankful for this.
While you've been working to pay for your kids' college, radical professors have been working on turning your kid into a raging, politically correct activist.
Isn't our tree pretty? And the presents.
Yeah, it's a shrine to our capitalist consumer culture.
While they should be learning skills for their careers, your kids are really learning to be community organizers.
Hi, kids. Dad's home after a long, hard day at work.
Cross your legs, Dad. Your white privilege is shown.
What the hell happened to you?
Our Kids' First Christmas Back from College.
Some turkey for you, dear?
Yeah, right, with a side of animal cruelty.
Our Kids' First Christmas Back from College. This Christmas on...
Hey, not everyone celebrates Christmas.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This non-denominational, cruelty-free, non-binary holiday season on the Hallmark Channel.
There you go. So that produced by a good friend of mine named J.J. Surma in Washington, D.C. and voiced by my children and my wife and me and written by yours truly. My son likes to play a little bit and like to pretend that he's being brainwashed. He'll come home and he'll throw some stuff at me and I'll say, shut up. Indian-American comedian Nimesh Patel performing stand-up at an event at the Columbia University Asian American Alliance on Friday, the AAA, which, you know, they'll come and change your tire too, I guess, if you have some issues. Anyway, he told a joke about being about a gay black man in his neighborhood. And he was being funny. He wrote for SNL in 2017. Said being gay can't be a choice because no one looks in the mirror and thinks this black thing is too easy. Let's just add another thing to it. Not terribly original idea. Not a terribly original stand-up idea, but, you know, it is kind of funny. Half hour into the set, members of the Alliance stopped it, ripped into the comic for joking about race and sexual orientation. Student paper on campus reports that Patel tried to defend his material, saying he was just discussing ideas from the real world, but his microphone was cut. Remember Forrest Gump when the military guy went and grabbed the cables as Forrest Gump was trying to talk? It's kind of like that. According to a statement, the student group said Patel's set ran counter to the inclusive spirit and integrity of the event. We acknowledge that discomfort and safety can coexist. However, the discomfort Patel caused was unproductive in this space. Dear God. Watch Demolition Man. Watch the movie Demolition Man. This is what's happening in our country. Watch the movie Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes and Sandra Bullock. Watch the movie. Look at the authoritarian state, and it's where we're going. There is no sex. There is no consent. You cannot use language that is deemed offensive. Watch the movie. It's happening. Seriously. Absolutely serious. Comedians, and this is what Patel said, a comedian's job involves speaking freely and with some edginess. If we wish to keep comedy alive on campus, we can't invite comedians to do their jobs, then cut off them as soon as it's not being done in the precise way we like. Actually, that's according to Malia Simon, a student at the university. The survival of comedy depends on the principle that if comedy is to remain good for you, it must sometimes be not good for you, 100%. Now, the AAA said Patel's mic wasn't cut off just because he told offensive jokes to a sensitive snowflake audience, which is the narrative that I see being talked about. He was booted off the stage because he sucked the energy out of an entire auditorium. That's wrong. That's according to Liberty Martin. No, that's not true, because basically they said, the group said that the discomfort Patel caused was unproductive in this space. And they talked about race and sex, and so that's not the case. Great comedy is offensive. It doesn't have to be offensive, but sometimes it is. Dear God. Demolition Man. Watch it. I'm serious. It's a fun movie, and it is where we're going. Cape Coral, Florida, Saturday. Christmas themed fun for kids, and this guy decides to show up and start screaming that Santa doesn't exist. You know, just being an a-hole. And you know what? There should have been a couple of dads who got up there and just knocked him right on his ass. Should have got up there and just knocked him on his ass. Here's a report from NBC2 in Cape Coral, Florida.
The presents are out. The giant tree is lit. The holidays are a time of year for people to come together and be lighthearted. But one man wasn't feeling very festive and made it his mission to ruin everyone else's spirit.
There's no Santa Claus!
And I feel sorry for that individual. He must have a very sad life.
A man with a giant sign screaming that Santa isn't real.
Somebody should have knocked him on his ass.
While kids waited in line to see him.
I think it's a shame our children are faced with so many difficult things in this world that the magic of this time of year, it's taken away from them, and they're innocent.
Is this a surprise?
Parents say it's heartbreaking. The man would stand there for hours just to hurt little kids.
He's saying there's no Santa, screaming it actually.
One mom tells me some kids were in tears. Luckily, her child was too young and distracted by the fun.
There's no sense of decency with those kind of individuals.
Cape Coral police tell me they were at the event but couldn't do anything because this display is considered freedom of speech.
I mean, it's for the kids, you know, and you kind of should leave that those adult opinions out of this kind of an atmosphere.
The only way CCPD says it could intervene is if he was using a voice enhancer like a megaphone. or creating a riot.
He was on private property. He could be shut down. He could be taken out.
Which they say he wasn't.
I think, unfortunately, you're going to have people who just want to spoil it for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Some people tell me they feel sorry for the Grinch, but aren't going to let him ruin their festive holidays.
I don't feel sorry for him. I think he's an ass. I don't feel sorry for him at all. They apparently tracked him down. He had no comment because he's a coward. I wish somebody would track him down in public, shame him, follow him around and shame him. According to College Fix, Cal State San Marcos did a whiteness forum last Thursday, discussed a variety of topics pertaining to America's systematic racism. 2-hour event featured more than a dozen poster board projects critiquing various aspects of our society. One on top of lambasting the NFL and white women for perpetuating racism, the cartoon where talking vegetables perform biblical stories for children somehow made it in its way into the discussion. The Christian cartoon Veggie Tales is racist because the villains are vegetables of color. This is funny. The villains in Veggie Tales have ethnic accents such as Latino, while the heroic characters sound white. When kids see the good white character triumph over the bad person of color character, they are taught that the white is right and minorities are a source of evil. So the potato is obviously a brown person. And I guess the turnip is the white person. Aren't vegetables all vegetables of color? Green, red. Another project also denounced the NFL as a racist institution that exploits the talents of mostly black athletes for rich white owners, paying them millions of dollars, of course, in the process, and giving them a lifestyle that they could have, 99.9% of us never will experience. But other than that, they're slave owners. Said that white women perpetuate racism in America by supporting Donald Trump. That's, of course, because it's a leftist organization and they're Democrats. Various titles for the projects, including White Avoidance, Civilized versus Uncivilized, Kill the Land, Kill the Indian, White Women's Role in White Supremacy, Gun Ownership and Racial Bias as well. One project argued that the NFL is to blame for its role in white supremacy as football players are black, yet most coaches and owners are white, blah, blah, blah. Another student project stated that white supremacy is caused in part by the media, since white shooters are simply called shooters on the news, yet minority shooters are often called terrorists. Well, if you scream Allahu Akbar before you start shooting, you're a terrorist. Flyer handed out with the White Women's Role in White Supremacy Project shows a picture of women supporting Donald Trump, flanked by pictures of women in the KKK. Of course. The Whiteness Forum began as an extension of Professor Dreama Moon's Communication 454 class called The Communication of Whiteness, which should also be called I Am a Flaming Racist Hater. One student who attended told the College Fix the event especially teaches people to feel guilty about being white. This person said, I feel that the university system leaders are a bunch of hypocrites. They're talking about stopping racism and promoting equality for all, yet they have no problem bashing white students, white people. They're trying to make me feel guilty for being white, and they are. And it's a shame. It's a damned shame. A couple funny things. This is funny. Payless shoe stores, they do cheap shoes. I haven't bought shoes from Payless in a long time. I don't go to Payless. I don't know. Maybe there's not one near me. But anyway, they're cheap shoes. They're cheaper shoes than you're going to get anywhere else. Apparently, in Santa Monica, the discount shoe store occupied a former Armani store, called it Paylessy, and stocked in heels, boots, and sneakers. And they put inflated price tags of between $200 and $640. The shoes are normally $20 to $40. Then they invited bloggers, fashionistas, and they collectively dropped $3,000 on Paylessy shoes within a few hours and crowed about the shoes' workmanship and style. This is the Emperor's New Clothes come to life. Here is the Paylessy story from Santa Monica. This is funny.
The pop-up shop was extravagant and next to some of the most expensive retailers here on 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. But the joke was on the social media influencers.
Great.
Just stunning. Payless Shoes, known for their affordable footwear, set up a fake high-end luxury store called Paylessy and had a little fun experiment experimenting with social media influencers who consider themselves fashionistas.
They're elegant, sophisticated. I just think it's so classy.
And I could tell it was made with high-quality material.
The so-called fashion experts ate it up and paid $200, $400, even $600 for shoes, usually priced between $20 and $40 at a pop-up store in Santa Monica.
Fantastic. I think it's brilliant in that somebody like me who would never walk into Payless, I probably would now.
And that's exactly what DCX Growth Accelerator was hoping for.
Great.
The company behind the experiment. The Chief Creator Officer, Doug Cameron, spoke to us via FaceTime from New York.
Well, we concluded that branding is a pretty strong force if it's able to get people to pay 18 times the price they normally pay.
And when the fashionistas were given their money back and found out the joke was on them, they were stunned.
Shut up.
Now, the company plans on using the footage for some upcoming ads. In Santa Monica, Brittany Hopper.
Oh, this shows the, that's fairly obvious, the hollowness of the fashion industry, blah, blah, blah. That's just brilliant. This is just brilliant. That's a great, great bit of PR. A couple more things here real quick. I'm not going to do that. I want to keep it light here. I'm going to keep it light. 9-year-old boy is convinced leaders of a small northern Colorado town to overturn a nearly century-old ban on snowball fights. Dane Best, who lives in Severance, presented his arguments in the town board meeting Monday night. Members voted unanimously to lift the ban. Dane says it's an outdated law. I want to be able to throw a snowball without getting in trouble. Dane's mother, Brooke Best, told the Greeley Tribune her son had been talking about snowballs since he found out about a month ago that it was illegal to throw them within the town limits. The last time it snowed, Dane said he and his friends looked around for police and joked about breaking the law. Kyle Reitkirk, assistant to the Severance town administrator, said part of the rule was a larger ordinance that made it illegal to throw or shoot stones or missiles at people, animals, buildings, trees. Any other public or private property or vehicle, snowballs fell under the town's definition of missiles. All of the kids always get blown away that it's illegal to have snowball fights in Severance. So that ends up happening. And kids changed the law. And they did change the law. And after Monday night's success, his 4-year-old brother, Dax, had better watch out. When board members asked Dane during a meeting in November who he wants to hit, he pointed directly at his little brother. Well, that's promoting bullying now. There you go. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. One more story, just a piece of viral video. And if you would please go to this site, tpublic.com/user/conservatees. Order any of these designs. There's 80 of them, okay? Hillary in 20, never. Give that to somebody, a Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants her to run. Socialism sucks, okay? Let's see what else we got here. I say Merry Christmas, deal with it. Order that now. Get it in a couple days. They're having a sale at TeePublic. Make America bait again. Put that on a hoodie for the outdoorsman in your life, all right? 80 designs, politically incorrect, and it would help me do what I do, which is video podcasting, comedy writing, and all of that stuff. So would you do that, please? Adam Frisbee, Jamestown, New York, decided to post a video to his Twitter page. 20 inches of snow. He has a newborn. And he just decided to lay the kid in the snow. And it didn't go exactly as he had planned. All right. Here we go. Woo! Oh, boy. Okay, Dad. Okay. Yeah, not good, Dad. No, let's do it again. Okay. Yeah. That is such a dad thing to do. That is such a dad thing to do. I love it. All right, guys. It's time for me to depart. I'm going to be, I do about 3 of these podcasts a week, so I do them as often as I can, and I greatly appreciate you watching. If you want to write me personally, it's carsonontheradio@gmail.com, carsonontheradio@gmail.com. Order something from tpublic.com/user/conservatees for the politically incorrect person in your life. And there's a lot of other brand things up there. There's some stuff for Kansas City area, for Maryland, that are not political. There's some not political stuff. And then there's just some hilarious stuff. All right. If you do that, it would be a blessing to me and my family. And my friend Sam Cangelosi, who is a designer who came up with all the designs. I came up with the ideas. He came up with the designs. All right. So take care. Follow me on Twitter at Rob Carson Show. And also join Spreely.com. It is an alternative to Facebook. Okay. It's Spreely.com, Spreely.com. It's growing by leaps and bounds. It stands for Speak Freely. Join it. update it, create a page there and a timeline, and get friends. SPREELY.com. See you soon. God bless. Later on.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now.